We're speaking with Todd Graves, who has taken a single focus idea and parlayed it into a chain of almost 100 restaurants. Stay tuned for the next in our series of Leaders with Guts.
Todd, do you think you get more or less gutsy as you get older?
Well, I definitely get less gutsy as I get older. You know, I started this concept right out of college, and I was a different person then, you know, and when we started Raising Cane's 2 years after I graduated, after the adventure going into opening that first location, and from growth thereafter, you know, I was a kid, and everybody that worked in my company, we were all a bunch of youngsters going after it. You know, we were accomplishing and creating great things, and it was all about the adventure and the thrill and taking care of each other and taking care of our community. So when I got older, and as we all started getting older, I started realizing, wait a minute, you know, I have a pretty large company now, and I have over 1,000 crew members to take care of and their lives, and while people are starting to get married, people are starting to have kids, you know, people are starting to want to put money away for savings, and at that point I started becoming a little more conservative, and as I've gotten older with the business and I've got some more wisdom, I've learned to become more strategic with our planning and still have an aggressive form of growth, but having a great strategic plan, a great financing plan behind that, versus a lot of that just go-getter, no matter what, we're going to get her done type of attitude I have that you can afford to have in your 20s.
When you started those 2 years, you worked as a boilermaker on an oil refinery, and you were a fisherman, a commercial Alaskan salmon fisherman. Why did you choose those two jobs?
You know, it's wonderful that by having to raise money for Raising Cane's, I ended up working as a Boilermaker. I didn't know what a Boilermaker was before I became one, and doing it in refineries in Los Angeles, and from there meeting a man named Wild Bill Tolar, a fellow Boilermaker, who told me how to go up to Alaska and commercial fish. You know, I would have gone anywhere to make money for Raising Cane's. It didn't matter what the job was or where it was. So I mean, I could have ended up staying in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I was from, and working construction. But my journey took me all the way up to commercial fish in Alaska, which actually I hitchhiked into Naknek, Alaska, and camped out in a tent on the tundra for a month before I got a job fishing that industry. So that was sheer luck, and I didn't realize then how great that adventure would then transpire to grow a company, and how my crew and my customers and communities would resonate with that American dream story.
And when you started Raising Cane's, before you started Raising Cane's, your partner submitted the business plan as part of his coursework at Louisiana State University, and he got a C- on that project because the professor said this will never fly. How on God's green earth did you get the guts to go ahead when you had a professor telling you no way?
Rejection for me fueled my fire. I've always been the person in my life, if you tell me I can't get something done, I'm going to show you how. So the actual rejection that came from the business professor that taught people how to do business plans and plan for a living, that when he told me I couldn't accomplish it, it actually was the best form of motivation I could have had. And I think when you get people with guts, I think one of the things is if you tell them they can't do something, they're gonna show you that they can.
And looking back, what do you think has been the gutsiest decision you've made on behalf of Raising Cane's?
There have been so many gutsy decisions we've had to do over time. So first, it was the concept serving only chicken finger meals in South Louisiana will never work. Well, I think that was a gutsy move for me and my crew, us as a team, to say, you know what, yes, it will work. This one location and campus will work. And then I think it was a gutsy move. We went to our second location on the other side of campus, and it was a larger freestanding building and a lot more of an investment to go into. That was gutsy move. I think it was gutsy moves to go into locations away from campus and go in interior and go after a different customer demographic. And I think our first location outside of Baton Rouge was a gutsy move, and then when we moved out of Louisiana was the next gutsy move on franchising. I think that you continue as a growing business and learning new formats, you always have to be gutsy, and you always have to go after challenges, and you always have to take risks to grow your business. So I think gutsy has a lot to do with success.
Todd, before you opened Raising Cane's, you single-handedly reconstructed an old building to get ready for the opening. What jobs did you farm out in that period?
I didn't hire too many professionals, even though I should have on a few projects. We were on a shoestring budget, so I learned to do things that I've never done before, like plumb. I became a plumber. I learned a little bit about electricity, and any other job I could do myself. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're on a very limited budget.
It pays off for your wife now, though.
It absolutely does.
Todd, do you consider yourself gutsy, and also do you consider yourself a lucky person?
I consider myself both. I don't think a gutsy person can be successful without some luck along the way. I mean, you think about the gutsy move I did, naming the restaurant after my dog, right? But you think how lucky it is that that became a mascot for our restaurant as we grow and become one of the endeared things about our restaurant. I've been lucky along the way.
Where do you think you learned to be gutsy?
I think it's in a person's DNA. I think if you're a go-getter and you're not afraid to make mistakes and to move forward and go down the line, I think that people get behind people that are gutsy, right? My crew's behind me, and they get confidence behind, hey, we're going after this, we're going to accomplish this, we're going to do it for the right reasons. And if we make mistakes and we fall down, we're going to get right back up, we're going to dust ourselves off, and we're going to make this thing happen.
Did you have role models in your life that were gutsy?
Yeah, I've always had coaches and teachers along the way, spiritual leaders and just friends, and the people that I respected were the people that really cared about other people, but they also had personal goals they did, and nothing would get in their way of making that happen.
Have you made any gutsy moves that didn't pan out?
I made plenty of gutsy moves that turned out to be mistakes. I make mistakes weekly around here, but I think it's the great thing about being gutsy is that you learn from those mistakes. And if we weren't making mistakes, then we wouldn't be moving forward.
We've been talking with Todd Graves, CEO of Raising Cane's. Check out the next part of this series as we explore what it takes to be a leader with guts. For Food Channel Pro, I'm Ellen Codiff.